Welcome back to the Tara Palmeri Show. So we have the final dump of Epstein documents, the final one, according to Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, who also admits that it's not all of the documents that they have accrued. In fact, he says that they've accumulated 6 million, but we're only going to see 3 million, and this is it, which has been incredibly disappointing for the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein. Already, the names of men that are mentioned in Epstein's inner circle, they're part of President Trump's inner circle. See the Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, trying to arrange to go to the island. Elon Musk talking about the party island that he wants to go to, which I find to be ironic because he obviously said that Trump would get burned in the Epstein files. And then some really disturbing tips and allegations against President Trump, which were removed from the Department of Justice website and then put back on the website today. Yeah, a lot of shady stuff going on. Also, some very strategic leaks, in my opinion, by the administration, and some very uncanny timing about why it's coming out today. There are a few things that really bother me, and one of them is that the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, has not changed his position that there were no third-party perpetrators, even though all the evidence points otherwise. And I'm going to get into that in this video with Jim Acosta, one of my former White House correspondent colleagues, now has his own show on Substack, like me, and on YouTube. And we go into all this and more. I am going to continue reporting on this. It's 3 million documents. It's going to take a while, but I know you guys are sleuths. A lot of you are out there looking through the files. In fact, someone sent me a message that was pretty funny. Not, I guess, funny, but apt for the Michael Cohen drama that we've been covering. And it's from this guy named Nicholas Ribis. And he sent a message to Jeffrey Epstein, July 25th, 2018, an email. It says, Michael Cohen will bring him down. Wonder what that means. So yeah, that all comes full circle, right? And yeah, there is so much to see and look into here, and to think that it's only half of it. We don't even know what the other half that the Department of Justice has decided we don't need to see. Well, take a listen to the show. I go into all of these points and more into greater detail. I'm going to be on Ari Melber's show on MSNBC tonight at 6:30, and I will be back on over the weekend. This is a developing story, and I appreciate all of you guys for sticking with me. Of course, to support my reporting and my independent journalism, please subscribe, like, follow, share this with your friends. Go to tarapalmeri.com, become a paid subscriber to get my exclusive reporting straight to your inbox. That's how you can support my independent journalism. The red letter, it's cool. Sign up for it. Take a listen to our conversation. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I always appreciate reading your comments. Take a listen here.
I want to quickly go to Tara Palmeri. I think Tara is standing by, and I'm going to bring in Denver Riggleman in just a moment too. But Tara is with us. And Tara, I mean, we've been talking about all the Don Lemon stuff, and it really has, to some extent, and maybe this is by design, overshadowed, which was some pretty big Epstein news today. And this release of all of these files. One of the files, or one of the documents that came out today, I guess, shows Elon Musk was asking about flying to Epstein's island or something like that. I mean, he says, you see this, what day night will be the wildest party on our island? I don't know what Elon Musk is talking about there. But Tara, your thoughts on the news that came out today about the Epstein files? Because, I mean, they were supposed to comply with the law, weeks ago?
Yeah, back in more than a month ago. December 19th was the deadline. And, Elon Musk was potentially on the manifest. It's not really surprising. Well, not for me, at least, and the others who have been paying really close attention to the files, that he actually was quite close to Epstein himself, which it makes it kind of ironic that he said to Trump, "Oh, you're gonna get blown up in the Epstein files," right?
Right.
When he himself had this close association. I've got to say the timing is uncanny, as they say,
it's
right?
Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And then also, and this, having been a journalist for a long time, that sometimes administrations are strategic with their leaks. They don't necessarily give the public the full Epstein files. They sometimes stagger them and give reporters something in advance that they want to highlight from a packet of damaging information, something that that either makes them look good or makes someone else look bad, right? Especially
Yeah.
when they know they've got to take out the trash on a Friday, which is what normally happens across administrations. But in this case, it seemed to me very clear that the administration leaked that Bill Gates news about the STD and trying to give Melinda a antibiotic. It just seems like they know it's viral. It's
Wait, I missed that one. I didn't see that come out today.
yeah, and it came out like literally as the Epstein files were dropping. How did the Daily Mail figure out how to pull that one out?
Give me a break.
Yeah,
Unreal.
exactly. It's kind of the same way where it was just a little too obvious last time when they dropped the Epstein files, when all of it was
Right.
about Clinton, right? From the top.
We were talking about that.
Yeah, exactly. It was just a little, because this is all a narrative for them. This isn't about actually getting down to the truth. This is about, pinning President Trump's enemies to make them look bad, protecting him and obfuscating the truth, and just trying to get people to pay attention, to not pay attention to the truth of the matter, which is they are being haphazard with these files. They have revealed the identities of victims, which is something that these victims who've already been sexually abused are now going through another round of abuse. Maybe they don't want to be publicly, they don't want to be known publicly for what happened to them. They don't want to be known as Epstein survivors. There's only 2 or 3 dozen of them that actually have come forward out of 1,000. And it's because there's a reason why people that are abused want to be Jane Does. They don't want it to define the rest of their lives. They don't want to go to the coffee shop and be known as the Epstein victim. And so for the Department of Justice to be so sloppy with their IDs, one of them an actual license, is really disturbing. Then there's the fact that these are only half of the files.
Right.
He said this is 3 million, but we collected 6 million, but we decided that we're going to put these 3 million out. Well, why are the other 3 million not being released? What's in them?
So I was going to say, so do we not have all of them still? Is that still not the case? Or
well, Todd said, excuse me, Attorney General Blanche says this is the final dump, but he acknowledges that they had 6 million files and they're giving us 3 million. So I think it's safe to assume that this is all we're going to see.
Well, a key part of that final dump, and I use the word dump in multiple ways here, is whether or not Donald Trump has been scrubbed and his name has been scrubbed in these final files. If 3 million files have been released and we don't see Donald Trump's name in here, I'm going to be damn suspicious. But we're showing some of the names that have popped out just today. Tara, Kevin Warsh I believe he is. If this is the same Kevin Warsh who's been nominated to be the new chairman of the Federal Reserve.
It's also insular at the top. That's the other crazy thing. Yeah,
yes.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And Brett Ratner, I don't know if it's the same Brett Ratner that I believe is the director of the Melania documentary.
I mean, who else would it be? It's just like...
Feel free to, if I'm wrong, please.
Choose from thousands of realistic voices to use in your content.
But if we're not seeing Donald Trump's name in 3 million Epstein files that are getting released, come on.
Well, his name has come up, actually.
Yeah, no, that's true. But one would think in this tranche, there would be at least one mention.
No, there are thousands of mentions of him in this. In fact, Epstein is asking President Obama's White House counsel, I think her name is Kathy Rimler. I believe I'm saying
Kathy Rumler. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Epstein is asking her for advice on how to deal with a 13-year-old who's accusing Donald Trump of sexual assault or abuse. And also this relationship that Epstein had with Kathy Rumler is really, really disturbing to me.
Right. She became his personal attorney in some of this, correct? Yeah.
She's a former White House counsel. And I think that's just indicative of the levels, the reason why for so many years we haven't gotten down to the bottom of this, why for decades and administrations, because he was able to buy people at every single level.
Right.
You know, and that really disturbs me. I mean, there's also some tips in there that the FBI fielded about President Trump that are really disturbing and graphic, and I'm not going to go into them. And they are tips, but has the FBI actually followed up on them and done investigations into them?
Yeah. We still don't know the full story of the relationship between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. We don't have all of the information. And to me, it is the big looming question hanging over everything. And when they put this dump out, as you put it, on the same day that they arrest Don Lemon, that makes my spidey sense go off. I have to say, it makes, and you know, I just think that at the end of the day, he can't outrun this. He can't. He's just going to have to face the music eventually in all of this, whatever that music might be. And the way that they try to throw Bill Gates out there, and it looks like Elon Musk maybe today, and so on, is a way to try to throw MAGA off the scent.
Yeah,
and that makes it even more damning for Trump, it seems to me. That's just my read on it.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm with you on this. I think it's all it's a narrative, and Todd Blanche was pretty explicit that President Trump is in no way connected to Jeffrey Epstein. The other thing that was really shocking to me was that he said during the press conference this morning that, I just want to quote it, Jim.
Please.
I don't know if there are men that abuse women. You are the Deputy Attorney General. Okay?
Gosh.
There are numerous survivors who have filed civil litigation against men for abusing them, often because the statute of limitation had passed and they couldn't file criminal, complaints.
Right.
We know Ghislaine Maxwell in her habeas petition said that 25 men had signed settlements with one plaintiff, one victim. And you're telling me that all 1,000 women were abused by just Jeffrey Epstein alone?
Exactly.
What have you been doing? What has the Justice Department been doing?
That's right. And Tara, doesn't it sound like when Todd Blanche is saying that, and let's remember he's Donald Trump's former personal defense attorney who now has a senior level position in the Justice Department. It sounds to me he's performing for the audience of one when he says that, because it echoes what Trump has said apparently to Marjorie Taylor Greene, which is, well, a lot of people's names might get dragged through the mud, or whatever Trump said to Marjorie Taylor Greene as she relayed to 60 Minutes about her conversations with Trump about the Epstein files. And when Todd Blanche says something like that, it makes me say, I wonder who he's talking to when he says that. Doesn't sound like he's talking to the American people.
And sometimes the thing about Trump too, when he told Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's going to hurt my friends, right?
It's going to hurt my friends. That's what he said.
And you and I know this from having covered him for a while. Sometimes he uses the word friend when he's talking about himself too. And
he has no friends. I mean, I'm sorry. Does he really have friends? I don't, maybe a few guys around Mar-a-Lago. I don't know. Jeffrey Epstein certainly was his friend for many, many years.
Yeah. Going back to 1993, if you look at some of the Epstein files, some of the allegations go all the way back to 1993 and President Trump. So like the height of Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking operation, he was very much a pal of his, you could say, for about 10 years. And I don't know how you could be friends with a guy who ran one of the biggest sex trafficking operations in the world and not know about it.
I completely agree. It's and the birthday letter, this wonderful secret that he talked about, and it's on. And it just seems to me that, that's it right there. Does anybody doubt that this is authentic? I mean, come on, give me a break.
Yeah, no, I know. And it's also, here's the thing, like Virginia Roberts Giuffre, who I obviously worked with very closely on the Broken Jeffrey Epstein podcast, she told me, when you walked into that house, there was no doubt that something was off. There were young girls naked by the pool. Plus, he had pictures of girls, Polaroids, and all types of pictures of young girls all over the house. Even if you just wanted to look inside that Palm Beach house. So even if Trump never went to the island or he never went to his townhouse in Upper East Side, just going into the Palm Beach house, which he has admitted that he's been to, you would know just walking in there that there's something up. A 50-something-year-old man with all of these young girls, these girls from high school. I mean, it's disturbing. That was another episode of the Tara Palmeri Show. I'll keep continuing the story as it is developing. Please follow, subscribe, share it with your friends. Tell everyone about this show. It's how we keep going. Please go to tarapalmeri.com and become a subscriber to the Red Letter. If you become a paid subscriber, you get exclusive reporting straight to your inbox. It's how you can support my journalism. I want to thank my producer, Eric Rabanate, Abby Baker, doing my socials and research, Adam Stewart doing thumbnails, Dan Rosen, my manager. Everybody is working overtime today. It's a Friday afternoon. They always know to dump it then, right? Just to ruin our weekends. And that's why, because they're hoping that we won't be as persistent and on it as we are. So take a Thank you for listening to the show, and I'll be back again soon.